Hello and welcome to Mr. Pena Has Flipped. This is video lesson number 2, which is basically examples for the domain and range notes. And example number 1 has to do with sales of vinyl records, and it asks you to find the domain and the range for the relation below. Okay, well, as you know, the domain is the x values and the range is the y values. So right here we got the x values and right here we got the y values. Alright, so we're just going to list those. So the domain is all of the years written down individually from 1940 to 2010. So the range, now the range is in millions, and it goes from 15.9 to 71.4. Now remember, the domain and the range should be written in order from smallest to largest, and that's why the one in the range, the information in the range looks a little strange. It's just written in order. That's all, from smallest to greatest. Example number 2. Give the domain and the range for the relation shown below. And so you set notation. And the first thing I'm going to do there is I'm going to write all of the coordinates for each point. And remember, the x is the first number and the y is the second number. So I'm going to write that first because the domain is all of the x values. So I have the domain and I put all the x values. They're pretty much already in order, so I write them in order. Now the range is not necessarily in order. As a matter of fact, it's kind of scattered around. So when I list them, I'm going to write the range in order from smallest to greatest also. And also, if the numbers repeat in either the domain or the range, I'm only going to write them down one time. That's it. Do not repeat them. Alright, here we have a mapping diagram. Now this one says, write the mapping diagram as a set of ordered pairs. Well, I have the x's and the y's again. Remember, this is called x is mapped onto y. This is the x. This is the y. So to find the domain and the range, to find the ordered pairs, I'm going to take the x number that matches the y number and write them together. So I have negative 2a, negative 2c, 5a, and 9b. Is this a function? Well, no, it's not a function. Because right here, it's like negative 2 is going to two different cities for vacation. He cannot go to A and he cannot go to C at the same time. So because of that, it is not a function. Now here's a graph. It says find the domain and the range. Now this time it says use inequality notation. Now you're going to be asked to write the domain and the range in inequality notation and in integral notation. So inequality notation has inequality symbols. Now the domain is from negative infinity. Actually, change that please. It's going to be from, it's going to be from negative 4 to infinity, because the smallest number on the x-axis I can go to is negative 4, and on the other side the biggest x value I can take goes to infinity because of that arrow. Alright, so what's going to be the range? Well, the range is going to be from negative 4. Okay, now remember this one was negative 4 here. Okay, so negative 4. Now the range goes with the y-axis. So you look at the lowest value on the y-axis, and that's negative 4. The highest value on the y-axis, well, that's also this one here. That's why that's going to go to infinity. Alright, so the domain is from negative 4 to infinity, and the range is from negative 4 to infinity also. Okay. Also right here, this is less than or equal to. Example 5. Find the domain and the range for the relation. Use inequality notation again. So to find the domain, I'm going to go as far left as I can because the domain is in the x-axis. So I'm going to go as far left as I can. And this right here tells me that I am going to the left forever, basically. So that's going to give me from negative infinity. This is negative infinity right here. This is negative infinity. This this way would be positive infinity. This is negative infinity. This is positive infinity also. So over here I'm going to negative infinity. And then to the right side, I want to go to 3. That's what this is. But it does not include 3 because of the open circle. Okay, so it does not include 3. Now for the range, that's going to be the y values. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the y values. And the lowest y value I can take is this one here. It's negative 3. And the highest one has to do with this again. It's just going to keep on going forever and ever. So it includes the negative 3, but it does not include the infinity. Okay, write these examples in your notebook, please. Okay, you can use these later on. This is video number 2. Look for video number 3 tonight. I will put it up, and I'll see you in class tomorrow. Okay, thank you.